The Success in South Florida podcast is brought to you by the team at Rawson Law Firm. If you need DUI or criminal defense representation, call the Rawson Law Firm at 754-206-6200 or check the description of today's episode for more contact information. The Rawson Law Firm, helping good people when bad things happen so they can achieve their best futures.
Welcome to Success in South Florida, featuring interviews with entrepreneurs, leaders, and other movers and shakers across South Florida to find out how they're doing their part to enhance the local community. Your host is Adam Rawson, the founder and CEO of the Rawson Law Firm. Adam's an award-winning attorney, former prosecutor, and a lifelong South Florida resident. He became an attorney because he believes in helping those in need and in crafting lifelong relationships in the community. This podcast is an extension of that mission. Let's get to today's interview. Here's Adam Rawson.
Welcome to another episode of the Success in South Florida podcast. I'm your host, Adam Rawson, and on today's episode of the pod, we have Joey Rafaeli, who's a good friend. I've known Joey for the last few years. He is a personal injury attorney, very successful. I met him sitting at a bar in a hotel at a conference in St. Louis, Missouri. Where was it? In the old, or it's like an old school casino, and at the Maximum Lawyer Conference, Max Law Con, I think it was 2021. And we've been buddies ever since, and he is absolutely crushing it. So welcome to the show, Joey. How you doing?
Thank you, Adam. I'm doing great. We've come a long way in just those 2 years. It's crazy.
I know. Oh, I know. Especially, I mean, we both have, but you are just crushing it on social media, doing some amazing, cool things that I really want to get into and talk about. And obviously, you know, Rawson Law Firm has grown as well. Yeah. But Joey, we've known each other for, like I said, a few years, and you're a young lawyer, and yet you've built such I'm going to call it an empire so quickly. So how did you do it?
So a couple tactics, right? First one is I really reached out to my personal connections and my personal, I would say, Rolodex, right? So friends, family, people I went to college with, people I went to elementary school, middle school, high school. I really reached out to everybody, let them know what I was doing, and showed my results through social media, which has also helped a ton. So the first one is my personal Rolodex. Second one is social media. A lot of people think that you get a lot of cold leads off social media, but really the majority of my social media leads are people that know me. I've met in the past at least once or twice, and I post my results. I post entertaining content, and they know, hey, if I get into a crash or my friend gets into a crash, call Joey. And I think that has really led to my success on the marketing side. On the business side, it's really just building a great team, finding employees and team members that are committed, that have experience, and really care about what they do. I don't think any of my employees show up to work just to collect a paycheck. Oftentimes, most of them are working late hours and working during the weekends. Of course, it's not common and it's not required of the firm, but they know that if they have to get work done, they get it done whenever they need to. And that's also really attributed to a lot of my success. For about the first year to year and a half of starting my firm, I was completely on my own. I started the firm with literally one client with not a very good case. And I really built it from the ground up. My parents weren't attorneys. They didn't really help much. They helped, with a lot of support, but no financial support. And about a year and a half in, I hired my first employee. We're now about to hit 3 years, and we're at around 10 employees now. So we're a team of 10. Yeah, we just hired a new office manager. All of my case managers have over 15 years of experience in personal injury. And that's really the main core of my success, is the great team that I'm surrounded by.
That's really amazing. And that great team has only kind of come together recently. So when you started out, not a lot of money, one client with not a good case, right? It's not like you had this big windfall where you can take a multi-million-dollar case that you were working on from another firm and get that settlement and then use it to kind of bootstrap the firm. Right. Were you scared? Like, what was going on in your mind? And what made you take that leap and say, you know what, I'm doing this and I'm doing it now, not after I've been somewhere else for so long?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It was September of 2020. I was working at a firm that I wasn't very happy in. The culture kind of sucked, for lack of better term. They didn't have the right systems and procedures in place. Everything felt unorganized. I was really only there for 2 weeks. And about 2 weeks in, I kind of realized like this isn't for me. I think I could do this better on my own. I had a conversation with my close family and close friends. I was like, hey, I think I'm going to go out on my own. What do you guys think? Most of them supported me. And we kind of went at it with the mindset like, hey, if I don't do this now, I probably won't do it later on down the road. I didn't have a mortgage at the
It'll be
time.
much harder. Right.
Correct. I didn't
It'll
have a
be
lot
much.
of expenses. Exactly. So if God forbid it didn't work out, I could just go get a job somewhere else. Luckily as attorneys, we still have that JD, we have our license, we can pretty easily get a job. So I said, hey, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now. And it was also the start right in the middle of COVID. So I figured I could do it remotely without even renting an office space. So my overhead was extremely low. I literally started the firm out of my bedroom, my childhood bedroom in my parents' house.
Amazing. That's amazing. Now, did you have any fear, or were you just gung ho all in?
So listen, I was all in, but at the same time, I had a little bit of fear and a little bit of doubts. And I think if you're human, you do, right? You never know what's going to happen. You hope it works out. I was a little scared, but that made me work harder and it pushed me harder.
Okay, so you used the fear instead of like a debilitating, crutch. You used it as a motivator.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so that's a lot like me. I always feel like I do really well when my back is against the wall. I was a prosecutor for 18 months. I always like to just round up and say 2 years. And, but really it was 18 months. And back in 2008, when I was 26 years old, me and my roommate at the time, we left to start our firm. Now, It took us a while. We were together 7 years and we never were able to even hire an employee, but we were at least decent enough to never crawl back to the prosecutor's office. But looking back, and we had a terrible plan. We had no written business plan, no budget, no marketing plan, but we had some kind of, in our head marketing plan, which was silly. It didn't work, but at least, I was young. I was not married. I didn't have many bills. We started from our apartment across the street from the courthouse. I always like to say we did the work sitting around in our shorts, and we, met with clients in a virtual office on Las Olas back in the day. And, I couldn't imagine if I was a 15-year prosecutor, then maybe married and having kids, if I ever would have been able to leave at that point. So it was kind of like we were, we really had nothing to lose. Although I was terrified. I was, but that back against the wall mentality is something that I think I still have. And it's still, years propelled us.
Without a doubt. As the firm grows, the overhead grows, you got to keep that hunger. If not, you're just going to keep falling behind, especially with the level of competition that exists nowadays.
Right.
We're
And so
competing against the whole state, essentially.
yeah, and you've gone from just, no employees yourself to 10 in 3 years. That truly is amazing. And it's, I see what you do on social media. So were you intentional and deliberate about, hey, we're going to take a huge focus on social media right away? Or did you just take a bit of a shotgun approach, try 10 or 15 things out and then land on social?
No, when I started the firm, I knew I was going to go with social. I knew I was going to generate clients through social. I understood social. I'm on social media a lot. So I understand the trends. I understand how to get people's attention. So I really went in with the idea of, hey, I'm going to try to get clients through social media.
Okay. Yeah. And your content is amazing. I mean, it's fun. It's engaging. And I love just it's not the same old thing, right? You have some really cool car crash videos, but it's engaging. You're asking people what their opinion is. It's you out and about, whether it's at the beach or somewhere else, talking to people, and it's your results. And what I love about your results. So like at Rossin Law Firm, we post, I say I want a bell ringing video every day. We have a boxing bell in all of our offices, and we like to ring the bell when we help somebody achieve their best future and have a great case result. And I feel like every single day I'm seeing an amazing number, an amazing settlement that you got for a client. And I'm even thinking, obviously, and I know you very well, I'm just like, damn, Joey wins all the time. This is amazing. Yeah. And so it works on me. It's got to work for everybody.
Thank you.
And so many people when they see it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because a lot of attorneys have great results. They just don't tell anybody. And if you don't tell anyone, they won't know. Some people might think it's bragging, but at the end of the day, if people don't know that you're doing a good job for your clients, you're getting them compensated, they're probably not going to come to you, right? The new clients are not going to get referred unless it was by a prior client that got that result. But if you're showing the public, you're showing your friends and family, and you're showing your followers the good work that you're doing for your clients, you'll probably get a lot more referrals that way.
Yeah. And Joey, I'll take it even a step further. So I was told maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, and I truly believe this, that if you believe you're the best lawyer for a certain type of client, or just in general, right? Obviously for, in a niche, in an area, then it's your moral duty and obligation to market and to promote yourself. Because imagine if somebody doesn't find you and they go to, lawyer A down the street, and lawyer A maybe is an above average lawyer and gets a settlement of 80,000, but the max policy is 100. I know that, and you believe that if that client came to you, you could get that max policy and get that 100. Right. And so how much better is the client going to be if they find you, if they have you? And so that's something that once I learned that, I was kind of like mind blown, like I'm a damn good lawyer. More people need to find me and see me. So that's the way I look at it. And I think exactly right. Some of these old time lawyers that just don't promote themselves. I mean, it's better for the client to find you, not only because you have some fun and engaging content, but you're an amazing attorney and you get amazing results. Right. And that's what people need.
Yeah, without a doubt. And with the help of, it's really all with the help of my team as well. I think one thing that really leads to our great results is the great customer service and the client communication. A lot of attorneys will just sign up their client, not speak to them for 6 months, give them a call, say, hey, how are you doing? We call in, we check in at least every 2 weeks. We help them get their car fixed. We help them get a rental. Customer service is at the core of what we do. And just educating the client throughout the whole process. As long as everybody's on the same page, that's how we really get the best results for our clients.
So most people don't hear about lawyers, doctors, accountants, professionals talking about customer service. So, where is this coming from? Obviously, I know how we do it at our firm. We're very customer service focused, but is this something you just kind of came up with yourself, or, how did you decide to have a different type of law firm?
That's a good question. I think I don't know if it came within myself or through my experiences, but nowadays everybody shops on Amazon, right? Everybody uses Amazon. Every time I use Amazon, their customer service is amazing. You get the package in 2 days. If you get the wrong one, you press
sometimes 2 hours.
Sometimes sometimes 2 hours.
Yeah.
If you get the wrong item or you don't like it, you get a piece of paper, you scan it at UPS, you drop it off, you're good, you get a refund. So I think nowadays people are comparing their customer service to Amazon and other companies that are really leading the way. So the way I explain it to my team is, hey, we're not competing against other law firms. We're competing against other companies in the way that we do customer service. So that's what really made me want to put it at the forefront of what we do.
Funny. I hear that quite often, and I hear it from myself too. So
yeah.
I know you and I are aligned, but that's why we're in similar, we're in the same groups. We go to the same conferences because I think in 2023, that's spot on. And how many people listening to this have ever gone to a doctor and said, I love the doctor, I hate the staff, right? Or it's just a miserable experience. And it's not a miserable experience because you don't like going to the doctor, you're queasy or whatever. It's just, it's a factory and nobody cares about you. You spend 5 minutes with the doctor. It's not the right way. And people like you are revolutionizing the way that law is practiced.
As is your firm too. All the clients we send over, I haven't had one complaint of your firm yet. Which
I love to hear that.
Everyone loves it.
And at our firm, we say our goal, and look, criminal law and PI too, you're dealing with good people at a rough time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, whether they're injured, they could be injured and feel like their whole world is collapsed, and not to mention just in pain, right? Money issues and physical pain that could lead to emotional and mental pain. For us, with our clients, they've been arrested, or they're being charged with a crime. There's a lot of things that go on just besides the police reports and the actual technical work. It's about people, and our clients are human beings and their families. So we strive to give a Ritz-Carlton level experience. And sometimes we'll even just say Disney because a lot of people haven't stayed at the Ritz. And one of the things that I'm thinking about doing is having a whole team, team training and spend maybe like either a day or a weekend at the Ritz, or Disney, right? And Disney's known for impeccable customer service. And that's what we're striving to be. So I'm really happy to hear that your clients are happy with my team and, me and my team and our level of service, and same with ours. All of our clients are super happy with you and your team. So Joey, you go from 0 to 10 in 3 years. How did you do it, and do it to the point where you're getting highly skilled teammates who are personally invested in the mission and giving amazing customer service?
So one thing that we also makes us stand apart from other firms is that all of our employees work from home. As I said in the beginning, I started the firm from my bedroom. I figured keep overhead low. And I realized that structure is what employees are looking for nowadays. So literally my top 5 employees left firms that they were at for 10, 15, 20 years because the quality of life was diminishing and they wanted a good work-life balance where they could work from home. They could leave their desk for 10, 15 minutes at 3:00 to go pick up their child and bring them back home. And I think that's what really leads to it, is that you treat your employees like adults, not like kids. You don't overlook every little thing they do. You don't micromanage. You give them an assignment, you give them a mission, you let them complete it. Obviously, you oversee it, but you don't micromanage, and you really give them ownership of their assignments as well. So that, coupled with, I think, the reputation that I've built in the personal injury community, I'm sure the criminal law community is the same way, but the personal injury community is very small, very tight. I'm friends with a lot of other personal injury attorneys, obviously friends with a lot of doctors, a lot of MRI facilities, people within this industry. And I've built a great reputation so that when they hear that I'm hiring or they hear a position opened up, they automatically recommend the best employees that they know that are unhappy where they are. And that's really what's led to a lot of the growth, is that it's hard. It's hard to find employees with a lot of experience that are willing to leave a firm. But if you show them that, hey, you don't have to be sitting in an office all day, every day. If you work from home, you're efficient, and you could be a great part of the team. We're happy to help you. And obviously we provide that training as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And did you go, prior to law school, did you know much about business or, management or marketing or any of these things, or did you just kind of learn it on the fly?
So I've never owned a formal business. I was always in sales. I always used to flip products, buy low, sell high. I used to work in a couple retail stores in sales, but this is the first time I really owned a business. And I used to read a lot as well. So personal development books, management books, and I think you really learn by doing, right? It's trial and error. You see what works, what doesn't. And I don't think there is one set way to own and manage a business. I think it really depends on your style and how you want that business to operate.
Right. And having an open mind. There's a lot of people that I've seen that are stuck in their ways and just, they're not forever learners. So one of our sub core values is being a forever learner here. And I consider myself a forever learner. And I know you are too. You're always trying to just level up, get better, learn something new. And I think those qualities are very important in people who want to be successful.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's so much competition nowadays that you really got to leverage technology. I think that's one of the most important things that a lot of business lack, especially in the legal field. You have attorneys that are still only using paper files. We haven't touched a paper file since the firm started. We're fully electronic, fully paperless. We're able to access our files from literally anywhere in the world. And that gives us the flexibility and the efficiency to do what we do.
Yeah. I like to say, if I need to look at a file on the beach, I can. I don't want to, but I can if I need to.
Right.
Or anywhere. Yeah. Or anywhere in the world. And so technology, right? You have 10 different people that are working for you. So you need to make sure that your tech stack is top notch. And was that easy for you to really decide that and vet the different companies?
So it was tough in the beginning, especially when I didn't have any money. So in the beginning, I just went with the cheapest companies, especially with case management software. I didn't even get an extra phone number. I was working off of my cell phone, which I quickly learned was a horrible idea, and
Right.
switched right away. But finding the right tech stack, I think, came from really a little bit of trial and error, but mostly just asking other attorneys what they're doing and vetting those companies and, finding the right fit. But as I said, technology is always improving. It's always changing. So we're always looking to see what we can implement to make our firm more efficient.
Yeah. And, similar with us, I mean, well, we had a lot of paper for many, many, many years. And then finally I put a stop to it last year. I had Angie, our marketing assistant, graphic designer, make a thing that says paperless is coming August 1st, 2022. And I gave the team 6 months, and some people were really excited. Some people were a little scared. And you know what? The people that were scared love it now. It's so easy. We've made a huge investment into Salesforce for us. We just, we had, but some different legal softwares, didn't like others. But overall, I said, if we're building a world-class criminal defense law firm, then I need to have world-class software, and we're making it better every day. It has not been easy, but Salesforce has really helped us tremendously and been amazing. And it's only getting better and better every week and every month as we add on new things. So,
yeah.
I completely understand, what it's like for you guys.
Data. Yeah. And it's all about data, technology, and how much data you can harvest so that you can become a better attorney, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more data you track,
oh
the
yeah,
more you can run. It really helps your practice. And I haven't really used AI in my practice, but I see that becoming a big factor in the future.
Well, we're starting to use it. So we use it a little bit for the marketing, not really to write copy, but just to help generate ideas. Mm-hmm. And I've used it to write some outlines for us. So we have used that. We have actually used it for legal research. There's a phenomenal product. Case Text has co-counsel by Case Text, which was just bought out by Westlaw. And they, as soon as I found out about that, maybe 6 months ago when they announced, I jumped all over it. We had a demo, and I said, absolutely, it's going to help our lawyers. And it's not infallible. It's not perfect.
Right.
But if it cuts down the time in half or less, especially in the way that you handle your firm and the way I handle my firm, we're flat fee, my firm. Right. You guys, right, are, contingency. So if you can become more efficient, then that even helps you build, that's more profitable for you to grow your firm. Right. So, I would definitely, you can look into that. It's been great so far. We can talk a little more offline about that. But Joey, why did you pick personal injury?
So it's a great question. Couple reasons. First off, I'm a huge car guy, right? So I always knew I wanted to get involved in some kind of law that has to do with cars. So obviously car accidents. Second off, I needed to be able to start a firm with very low overhead. Personal injury, you just got to sign up your client, you earn your contingency fee, and you're good to go. I originally was considering a class action law firm, but I didn't have millions of dollars in backing to run those cases. Right. And then the last thing is that I really enjoy helping the clients. I was working at a class action firm before I started the firm as well. And you help a large amount of clients at once, but there isn't really that personal connection. And seeing the results and seeing, the smiles on their faces when you literally turn this negative into a positive. It's probably those three factors, with the last one being the biggest, is that I just want to help people on a personal basis. I've always been that guy that people know to reach out to, whether they need help with something or if they need to know someone for something. I'm usually that guy. So just being able to help is the biggest thing. And I think that's the way to help on a mass scale. A lot of people get into car accidents, especially in South Florida. So those are the reasons.
Yeah. And lawyers in general get a bad reputation, I feel. And what I've seen throughout my career is that most lawyers, at least the ones that I hang out with, love helping people.
Yeah.
In criminal defense, most of us become criminal defense lawyers to help people. Right. Personal injury, most PI lawyers become PI lawyers to help people. Immigration, same thing. Family law, same thing. Yeah. Working for an insurance company. Okay. You're working for the big, bad, evil, greedy insurance companies, or handling corporate law. not so much for the people to really help others.
Right.
But people that I associate with, yeah, there's always something deeper in there. And same goes for us. We love helping others. We love, and it's funny because throughout my career, I've been an attorney now since 2006, and I've had the firm since '08. There's people that have kind of grown up with me. Some of my original clients are still, whether they come back, which we never hope they do, but if they refer a friend, or just, I love, people going, Adam, I've known you since before you had children. Happy Father's Day. I was thinking about you and blah, blah, blah. And I love it. And or it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's, I mean, all the different holidays, I'll get random texts from people, and it's so nice to know that me and my team have been able to have such a huge impact on people's lives. The fact that they're taking time out of their own Father's Day, their own Mother's Day, their own Christmas or Thanksgiving to wish, me a happy holidays is so impactful. Especially when we talk about helping our local South Florida community.
Yeah.
So, you'll, if you haven't seen some of that, you definitely will throughout the years and stuff, to really have that impact in people. And Joey, are you from here?
So originally I'm from Israel. I was born in Israel, about 15 minutes from Tel Aviv, and I moved to Florida when I was 5 years old. So I've been here almost all my life. I never left Florida. Went to undergrad at Florida International University and law school at University of Miami. And I think staying in South Florida and obviously keeping in touch with those people that I went to school with and people that I've met over the years has definitely helped my business a ton.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's all about, there's a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're crushing it on social media, but your network. Your network is so important. And it's like you said, people that you've known for years and years, since elementary school, middle school, high school, that are now, I'm sure they're doing their own big things in the world, and they're there and staying in touch, and they're able to refer you, and you're able to help them.
Yeah.
And help their friends and family. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. There's a quote that's going around: your network is your net worth.
Right.
I don't know if I fully believe it. I think it really depends on how you market and how you, treat your network. You really got to utilize your network. Just because you know people doesn't mean it's going to help you out in business or in life. You got to reach out to them. You got to make it known that you do what you do and that you can help them out. Don't just know people and not do anything with it. People want to help. And if you want to help more people, you got to make it known as well, just as you were saying earlier.
Yep. And I think being genuine, giving a damn, and building relationships. It's not just me, right? It's about 100%. Building real relationships is so important these days.
Yeah.
And you're right. And I think the fact that you've been here has been so, powerful for you starting your firm. Now, do you feel a special connection here, especially, growing up here and being here and wanting to help others in our community?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, South Florida is my home. I don't see myself moving anywhere else. We do have plans to expand to other states, hopefully within the next year or so. But South Florida will always be home to me. I'll always have a residence here, no matter what. I'm staying in South Florida. Also, all my family is here, my friends. I'm not leaving anytime soon.
Nice. Perfect. Okay, Joey, what I want to do right now is we're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsor, the Rossin Law Firm, and of course, and we'll come back, and I want to talk more about your journey and just maybe some of the role that mentors have played in your life, success, failure, things about what motivates you, all the things that people on this podcast really want to hear about, and of course, what advice you have for our guests and listeners to the show. So we'll be right back.
When something bad happens, who do you turn to? In South Florida, the answer is the Rossin Law Firm. Criminal and DUI defense for when bad things happen to good people. The Rossin Law Firm is a team of 8 criminal defense attorneys, including 2 board-certified criminal trial experts. They also have federal and white-collar divisions in the practice. To learn more about the team and how they can help you, connect on Facebook and Instagram at Rossin Law Firm. Also find helpful and entertaining videos on Rossin Law Firm YouTube channel. Just check this episode's description for all the ways you can connect. All right, and we're back on the Success in South Florida podcast with our guest today, Joey Rafaeli.
So, Joey, I want to now pivot and talk a little bit just about mentors in your life. Have you had a lot of mentors to really help you and lean on?
Yeah, without a doubt. I still have mentors. I think if you don't have mentors and you think you know it all, you'll never grow, whether it's personally or professionally. When I first started the firm, I reached out to prior attorneys that I worked with in law school, and I would literally call them every single day, asking them questions about personal injury, asking them questions about business, marketing, whatever related to the firm, and in personal life as well. And I think that's been a huge part of helping me succeed relatively quickly is that I'm not afraid to ask questions. If I don't know the answer, if I'm unsure, or even if I just want to get someone else's outlook on an idea or a legal question, whatever it may be, I always pick up the phone and I call. And I found that those people that have been my mentors that have helped me throughout this process, and they've seen the success that I've had and how the firm is growing, now they'll even come to me for advice, which is, a
That's really
huge
cool.
compliment. And I'm obviously more than happy to help. So I also think, I obviously think mentors are important, but I don't think it's something that should be forced or it's something that's really formal. I've had people ask me like, "Hey, can you be my mentor?" I'm like, I'll help you out, sure, but I don't think it's a role that's very formal. I think it's something that comes naturally. And I think that's the most important thing.
Right. And I found, I don't know how it is, with you, but I found that at least in criminal defense, when I was, well, even now, people are so generous generally with lawyers are very generous. And you think
Yeah.
that it's lawyers, law is just cutthroat and evil. And, it's very competitive. But when you have a group of good people, I mean, a lot of lawyers want to share and
Yeah.
are really willing to pay it forward. Have you found that?
100%. 100%. And one thing I think that leads to that is that most clients are not calling you and your friend down the road. They're just calling one of you guys. If they sign up with you, great. If not, maybe they'll go somewhere else. But there's competition. But at the end of the day, the market is so large that they're not really coming to you and your buddy.
Right. And competition also just generally makes people better because it forces
Yeah.
people to kind of rise up. But if you're talking about the law and different, look, I always say like, there's no such thing as stealing clients. Clients have free will.
Yeah.
So then they're intelligent to make the choice of who's the best for them. And if they get it wrong, then they'll look somewhere else. But doesn't mean that you can't help somebody else, a colleague out, because I believe in the law of attraction. I believe, in just karma, good juju out there. And you want to help others, especially if you're a giving, helping person, like most lawyers are.
Yeah.
That's why we became lawyers, to help.
Yeah. As lawyers, we take on our clients' problems and make them ours. That's our job.
Yes, we do. Oh, yeah, very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so. That's a whole another topic. And that's why, so it's funny, I'm friends with a lot of therapists and sometimes I'll tell them, I'll be like, I'm kind of like we handle your job too sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm dealing with everybody else's problems and I'm driving home going, all right, who's helping me now?
Right.
And luckily that's why you have good friends, family, mentors, and just, people in there, to be able to bounce ideas off or frustration. I'm sure you've probably had some days and things where there's been a block of how do I fix this or how can I solve this, and being frustrated and being
Yeah.
able to bounce those ideas off of people.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And that, as an attorney and a business owner, you're always going to have those days. They're your test days to really see if you're built for this and see if you can make it out the other side. So I love those days.
Right. Now, Joey, what advice do you have for maybe people going to law school, in law school, and it doesn't even have to be lawyers. It could just be business or just, life, just advice. I mean, as you've, worked your butt off to build something really special, and there's no doubt that, in a few years, you're just going to be dominating.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think the most important piece of advice, and it's actually pretty cliche, and when I was asking other attorneys for their advice, they would give me this line, especially when it came to interviews or meetings or whatever it was just be yourself. Don't try to impress everyone. You don't have to fall into this cliche of being an attorney and being extremely formal. And I think that led to a lot of my success, is just being myself. You see it on my social media. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. I'm not there in a suit, citing case law. I'm just there.
You don't have the books, the
Yeah,
bookshelves, right? With
yeah,
the 30, 40, 80-year-old books behind you, right?
exactly. I don't have those. I'm just myself. And I think that's the most important thing, especially in business, is that people like authenticity. They can spot when you're fake. So just be yourself, and that your ideal client, your ideal teammates, they'll be attracted to you.
Right. And you might as well have fun, right, while
Yeah.
you're doing it. So in your social, I know you're having fun. And so you've blended your love of cars with not just personal injury, but I also see that you're putting out a lot of content with cars and going to different meets. So walk me through that as far as like, how you decided to kind of put those two together.
Right. So when I first started off, I actually overextended myself and got a Dodge Challenger Hellcat, which is a 700 horsepower coupe. I think I was paying like $800 a month at the time for it. It was a lease. And I said, with this car, I'm going to make content and I'm going to go to all the car events. I'm going to make sure that every single car guy in South Florida knows that I'm a personal injury lawyer, that if they get into a car accident, they know to call me. It was fast enough to keep up with the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris, and it was a muscle car, so I could fit in with the Mustangs, the Camaros, and the Challengers. So I overextended myself. I got that car, and I kind of built that image. And it's pretty funny because I think it was like 3 or 4 months after I started the firm, I was at National Trial Lawyers Conference in Miami Beach, and it was my first time there. I was really just starting out, didn't really know too many people. And I saw an attorney that is wildly successful, owns the market in Alabama and a couple other states. He's got a team, I think, of like 400 attorneys. And I said, "Hey, how are you?
I
My
know who
name."
you're talking about.
Yep, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. He's got a ton of billboards. So I go up to him, I say, "Hey, my name's Joey Rafaeli. I just started my firm." He goes, "You're the one with the Dodge Challenger, aren't you?" And I was like, "It's working. If this guy knows who I am, everybody should
Amazing.
know who I am." So that's really how I went about it. Now I've done pretty well for myself. I've made a little more money, so I've upgraded my cars, and that's really my passion is cars. So I use it to my advantage, and I enjoy it, and it helps with business. It's a win-win.
Well, and you're authentic, which I think is really important, right? Because
Right.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who say, "Oh, I want to be the car PI lawyer or the motorcycle one or this one," but if that's not their passion, then it's so easy to spot a fake these
Oh, without a
days.
doubt.
Yeah, it really is. So, and then when you're doing those things, I mean, it probably doesn't even feel like marketing. It just feels like fun, and
Yeah.
you're being able to blend personal and professional. So it makes it seems like to me, it makes it so easy for you to just go hard on that because it's, you're like, I'm just having fun and it
Yeah.
helps the business. It doesn't seem like a chore.
Exactly. It doesn't seem like a chore. I'm meeting people with similar interests. I get to help them out. A friend of mine, well, he used to be just an acquaintance. Now he's a client and a friend. I settled one of his cases for him, and then he screenshotted a text that he was like, "Hey, a friend of mine just got into a crash. I shared your contact with them," and he screenshotted his conversations with them, and he has my name saved as the man, the myth, the legend.
Ah, nice.
And I'm
There you
like,
go.
all right, I love it. Like these guys are buying in. I'm helping them out and they appreciate it. So it's funny seeing things like that. And it really humbles you, because as I said, I started the firm the bedroom, my childhood bedroom is where I started the firm.
Things that you'll never forget.
Yeah,
Never.
without a doubt.
So Joey, I have really just a few more questions. These are going to be some of the deep ones. So what's your definition of success?
My definition of success is waking up every day with a purpose. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how happy you are or unhappy you are. Wake up, get your work done, do something with a purpose, and do it to the best of your ability. And I think that's my definition of success. I don't think
Perfect.
success is something that's achieved. And, once you're successful, you're there. It's something that you have to work at each and every single day.
I think it's fantastic. That's a great definition. Now here's one that I don't ask everybody, but for you, I think it's very appropriate. Do you love to win or do you hate to lose?
I love to win. I love
Okay.
to win. I don't think I really lose too much.
Right. So for you, the motivation is the winning.
100%. 100%. Every day I wake
Okay.
up and I try to win. I don't avoid losing. I think if you just go about life trying to avoid losing, you're going to be very mediocre. You got to try to win in everything that you do.
Okay. Love it. And it's so funny because I've asked, a good amount of people on this, and it's about 50-50, but the reasons, I don't even care about what they choose. I really like the reasons. And so I love that reason. And that's what makes you tick and what motivates you. So that's fantastic. Now, Joey, where can people find you? I know, you're all over social media, but let's give us your handles and what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
So the best way is probably through Instagram DMs or calling my office. Instagram is Miami Injury Lawyer with underscores between each word. TikTok is the same, Miami _injury _lawyer. TikTok has been blowing up recently, so follow that. My phone number is 954-365-JOEY. We're available 365 days a year. You can call us through that number as well. And you can text that number too. Basically, Google my name, pick a channel, and I'll answer it.
Right. You will be there.
Any way, shape, or form you want to reach out, we're here to help.
Look, you're just like us. We're easy to find.
Yeah.
Right. Just we always want to be easy to be found, especially when people are in the middle of crisis and need us right away. So, Joey, do you have any other parting words for our listeners on the show? Just anything other, words of advice or anything you want to leave our audience with?
I think, one of the most important things that we spoke about is just being yourself. Reach out to your families and friends and your mentors. I've been very lucky to have a lot of conversations with you and how you run your firm, and I've learned a lot from you. So always be learning, be yourself, and that's how you'll find success in South Florida.
And I'm learning from you too, Joey. So awesome. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. And maybe I definitely want to do this in a few years when you're the king of Alabama and the surrounding states with the billboards
coming soon
and everywhere else.
I want to start a podcast too. So you're gonna be my first guest.
I would love to be. Seriously, we could, and I know we could probably talk for hours about all this cool stuff. So
we could.
We'll do it.
All right, Adam. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, of course. Take care, Joey.